Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Bucked Up Podcast. If you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, we have 2 new episodes coming out every week. Now let's get into it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I was in New York at you ever hear of Quad Studios?
You know what? No, I haven't.
It's like a big studio in New York. I'm not a big fan of the big studios. I like that people can do it like indie, like in their house record now, you know?
No, for sure. I mean, I'm sure like they became big studios for a reason, though.
Yeah. Things do hit a certain level where it's like people just assume that they can hate on them because they're so popular, but really there's a reason that they got to that popularity.
There's always a reason why you get big, like so. They had to be doing something. They had to been doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah, because really you can't get to a level of success without people hating on you, and then that number of like hateful voices will just grow. Even though it's a smaller number, it sticks out
Can't
more.
get to a certain level of success without people loving you either, though. You
Mhm.
know, I feel like the part that I think the part that people be waiting on is for people to hate on you. So it's like the part that gets remembered. It's like, oh yeah, he got big and then he did this scandalous thing. We hate him.
Mm.
Or she got big, she sucked the wrong dick. We hate her.
See, I actually like that point because I think even in myself, like when I hate on myself and someone hates on me, I'm like, see, I was right about myself. You know, it's like, see, that person saw what I saw in myself, even though that's not really what it is.
Facts.
So I feel like you've been around for a minute, but you're on this like new push right now where your music is like you change you're on a like what you're putting out right now is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to start fresh. Like I feel like, you know, a, it's been so long since I put out music by myself that I just kind of feel like, you know, it's a space to reintroduce myself, I guess,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna be arrogant and be like everybody who is with me is still here or da, da, da. I'm trying to just pretend like I'm playing a whole new game.
Mm. When did that mindset kick in and why did that happen?
It's just being respectful of like, you know, uh there's so many people doing a thing and it's just like you gotta figure out how to occupy space. So it's like just respecting the whole ecosystem of this shit. Like it's just like I'm back on the court trying to hoop. That don't mean that I'm gonna just be able to just get in the game. So I gotta go as hard as I did to get in the game initially to kind of show niggas what the fuck is going on.
When did that mindset kick in of being like, nah, I'm just gonna start over. I'm gonna Phoenix this shit.
Phoenix is a great word. Um, I don't know, man. I think it was when I was like, I want to put out an album. And then I was trying to figure out how to put out an album. And I was like, damn, I haven't done this in a while. So I just was like, let me respect that idea and pretend that I just haven't done this shit before.
When was that?
Maybe like 2020, like
Okay.
coming out of the pandemic. I feel like um I'd actually like did a deal with Sony. And because of the pandemic, like nobody knew how to release music and all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? And I think it just made me realize, like, yo, like when you do come back, you gotta just um build some momentum.
Yeah.
That yeah, 2020 though, to answer your question.
What uh what made you lose the interest before that?
It wasn't a loss of interest. It was just a lack of like a poor timing, I guess. Like literally, like I said, like I signed a deal in 2019 after not my second project solo, but like I had a project with Smoko. Oh no, that came out. and we had did a deal with Sony Payday, and the pandemic hit, and I think uh, it was just like a difficult time for people to put music out and even figure out like how the fuck to market the music. And so that label ended up getting dissolved. Like, I think uh, the guy who owned it, Patrick, he was going through a divorce, whatever the fuck he was going through, and he just, sold the company. So it just kind of was like, damn, what do you do now? And then it's like, wait a minute, you've always been an independent artist. So let me figure out and come with a game plan about how to re-engage.
And did that love for it come back when you kind of became the student?
The love for it never left, but yeah, I mean, like it's always fresh to like put yourself in a position to learn and just like, yeah. Yeah, the love for it never left.
You
Ever.
ever heard of rap snacks?
Come on. What are you talking about here?
You know what I'm talking about. So I was just reading an article on the dude that started that
Okay.
and how he started it in like the 90s. And then
Okay.
he like, he
That's
tried
real. 'Cause they
it.
had like Lil Wayne rap snacks. But yeah, keep going.
No, and it just like it didn't work out. And then he took like a 6 year break off that shit. And then when he came back, or maybe it was like he started in 2002 and then he took to 2010 or 12 off. And then he started pushing that shit. And then you see where it is now.
Yeah, nah, rap snacks is crazy because it's like he snapped because he fed into the nostalgia of what he built.
Mhm.
So then it's
And he
like,
never gave up on his idea. Like even if he took that's why I do like hearing you say that you never lost the love, is because like I think from a fan's perspective like mine, I don't know where an artist's head is at when they release music versus when they don't, because that's a lot of times has nothing to do with it, you know?
yeah, nah, no doubt. It's like releasing music is low key the hard part because it's like you might be a type of artist to be like, I want everything to be perfect and I want this shit to, but what I really learned is just like, just feed yourself, feed, the people who waiting on it, because it's gonna be perfect at the right time. Like when you put it to like, because as an artist, you always trying to put something together, like cohesively or whatever. And um you got to be patient with yourself, and then you got to also understand like if people are fans of you, they're gonna be patient with you. And I think that's an anxiety thing that most artists don't realize. It's like, even if people are like, all right, we never getting a Kami album, or we're never getting a X, like whatever, insert artist name here album. At the end of the day, when that album drop, if somebody's a fan of you, they're gonna tune in, and if it's good, they're gonna tell somebody about it or play it in a setting where somebody else gonna find out about it, and it's just gonna grow. But it's a lot of work trying to make sure that that's consistent, which is, I think, a lot of artists fear is like, if I drop this thing, what do I do next? What do I do after next? So rap snacks.
No, I fuck with that, and I think that goes back to the point that we started the conversation off about, like the bad thoughts in your own head, where it's like honestly what holds me back from like, oh, should I do this thing that'll reach to that, isn't to me, I'll be like, well, how's it going to be perceived? But really it's like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Then I'm going to see in my head that I'm failing it, when not really, that's just all part of the steps forward.
No, for sure. I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, how do you perceive it
Yeah.
as the person who's doing it? I think we be having too much. First of all, people don't care that much, to be honest. Like, to be very honest, it's like at the very end of the day, anything that you do, people can care about it for the day, and it might impact them for life. But like in the bandwidth of their life, it's a small component. So it's the responsibility is to you, the person who's making it, to to care about it as much as you like, to kind of really assess it as much as you need to, not trying to like, I gotta make this for them or I gotta make this for whoever the fuck. Like, just make it for you. And the people who resonate with you as a person are gonna come. They're gonna get it.
What
At
makes
the
you a fan of something?
That's a great question. Um, I think when I could see the person who made it through it, if that makes sense. Like if I could hear a song and if I could even like imagine what that person is like through, a piece of art that I'm looking at or some music that I'm hearing and be like, this is the type of person this is, then it make me a fan of them because it's like, that's you just found a way to reach somebody who don't know you um through through space and time without ever having to meet me or me having to meet you. So it's like I'm a genuine fan of like things that resonate authenticity. So it's like you always hear that too. It's like it's not like people don't say that for no reason. It's like somebody identified that one day and a lot of other people agreed. Like if you're a real nigga, if you're a real whatever the fuck, people will be fans of you. Like past art, I'm a fan of real niggas everywhere. I'm a fan of real people, like just people who know themselves.
Did you feel like you were misunderstood growing up? This all ties back together. I have a point for asking this question.
No, I'm not
Just
mad
like
at you.
weird, but do you feel like you were misunderstood?
To a degree, yeah, for sure. At certain points, definitely. I mean, like the way I dress, I think something like even, in high school or whatever, is like the mushrooms at 14, like just all sorts of shit, like just little things that people may not have been, it wasn't like the standard or like what you were supposed to do or whatever. And, people would just be like, oh my God, you're either you're never gonna be shit or you tripping or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I think a lot of art comes from people who are misunderstood trying to be understood. So yeah, innately I think, yeah, for sure.
And that's the point that I'm making is like I am a fan of someone that I can understand through what they've created. I don't know what it is, but no matter what the output is, they whittled away for me to understand them in a short burst, you know? And that's
Right.
what the authenticity is.
Yeah, I mean you can't fake that. You
No.
you can't like recreate it. You can't like pretend. So it's like when you feel misunderstood, I think your goal is to be understood. No matter how different somebody wants to be, they want somebody to understand them. So that's why people make art. That's why people fucking go and run naked down. I don't know. People do a lot of weird shit to feel accepted and understood, right? I don't know where I was even going with that run naked shit, but
You're watching fucking old school.
yeah, that's a good ass movie. Yeah, no, like for real though. So it's like, um, yeah,
When did you first feel understood by the universe, like fulfilled, things, something like that?
I think when I started putting out music, man, like when people started actually giving the feedback and feeling the music and being like, we want more music, and just seeing people who, kind of uh took the things I was saying conceptually and was like, I want more of this. I was like, yo, like this is, there's people out there and they might not be like literally aesthetically the same as me or whatever the fuck, but they just get it. And like I just want to connect with more of those people because I know it's like it's a infinite it's just an infinite amount of like-minded people. It's a big ass planet that we on. So it's like I know that there's more of those people I want to connect with, as many of them as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, because that is the like getting out of the You're from the city?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago for sure.
Okay, so like I grew up in like a smaller city like outside of no major cities. And but it's the kind of like getting out mentality of like it's so cliche of like the no one understands me here. But then you start realizing that the world is small enough that there are people that understand you everywhere. And then you hit a certain level where people around you start understanding you too. Like the people
Exactly.
around you who didn't understand you at first are like, well, if they understand them, I guess I'll open up to them now.
No, for sure. Yeah, like, literally for sure. So it's it's just a patience thing, man. Like you just gotta like wait for it to happen. You put enough out, it's like input output type shit. It's like as much as you put in, you gonna get it out. Like if you stay on top of it, and vice versa. So when people, give you the energy, it's your responsibility to take it and give them more.
Where does your muse come from? How do you find your muse? Where does your creative output come from?
From love. Um, yeah, just from love. Like I know it's like a simple answer, but it's just like things that I love, people that I love, women that I love, like they all inform like where my music is.
I hate when I go back to my origin story and when I think that I made all the decisions I did, how much of it was trying to like impress a girl back. Like, you know
All
what I
of this
mean?
shit is just trying
I'm
to
like,
impress a girl. I ain't gonna
I
lie,
did
like
this. I did this, but nah, it was really just like me just trying to impress people over and over again.
nah, I ain't gonna lie. Like a lot of this shit be trying to impress a girl. Like currently trying to impress a girl. I'm like, yo, come on, stop, stop.
That's why you're doing this. You're trying
That's my whole life is structured. Nah, let me stop. But yeah, no, it's still love though. It's like trying to impress my people, my friends, my mother, like my family, my anybody that I love. It's like I want them to feel like whatever the topic is. If the topic is like directly to them, it's like I want them to be like, damn, like that's somebody I know, that's somebody I love, and um, look at that. I
So
help make
you
that person.
create from a place of peace. It's not like you have to be like angry to create or
No,
be
that's
like,
that. I mean, no, creating from any emotion is what you need. You gotta. I think it's like the artist's responsibility is take emotions and put them put them on wax or put them on paper or put them on canvas. Like take that emotion and make it real so that other people can feel it. Cause that's all this shit is. It's like a conversation. And it might not be a conversation where it's like people are talking back to you, but it's like an internal conversation where you give people some shit and then they have a conversation with themselves. But really they're having a conversation with you because you gave them the thing to spark those thoughts.
you just blew my mind with that.
I just blew my own mind with that shit. I ain't gonna
I fuck with
lie.
no, because with stand up, all right, like so I'm a stand up comedian. That's like my main thing.
Mhm.
Um, with the podcast and with stand up, when you start, you think you're just like writing funny shit to tell to the audience. But the
Mhm.
farther you get into this, you might even understand this with performing. It's like you're kind of playing the audience like an instrument. And it is a one-sided conversation that then you, as you said, they're having that conversation with themselves, either right at that moment or afterwards. And that
No, it's exactly that. If you're hitting it on the head, it's like you, as the performer or as the person that people are focused on, they're looking for you for the subjects and the topics and all of that shit. But the response, because response and the reaction isn't necessarily verbal. It's not like people talking back like, "Hey, I don't like this. Hey, I like this." Like it's more or less like how people feel and how people react. They're like I don't know, on some social media shit, how people engage, right? But that informs how you keep going as the artist and the conversation that you keep having. Sometimes some artists are just like, fuck whatever the fuck you think, I'm gonna just keep doing me. And that's cool. That's cool too. But I think the more human thing is to be like to be able to be publicly critiqued and to accept the energy from other people and then give it back to them. Bounce it back, like over and over.
That's why it's like I almost don't know how to compliment things. Like I don't know how to compliment art. Like I guess with music it's a little bit easier. I can say what I like, but like when you see a painting, like a painting I really love, I don't know what to say other than this shit's crazy. This shit's fire.
That's
This
fine though. Like that's all you need to say. Sometimes it's like that shit fine. That's this shit crazy. Like at the end of the day, I don't think everything gotta be critiqued too. Like shit can make you feel however you feel, and you might not have an idea of like what it is, you know? It's like you might really see some shit in an art gallery, or you might really see some shit or hear some shit that you're like, you're not really sure how to feel. You might even hear some shit or see some shit that you might not be sure about how to feel until somebody else gives you an opinion. And people don't really value that as much as they should. It's like sometimes like-minded people can help inform how you should feel, and that's okay. You know, if your friend feels like, yo, this is dope, and then you're like, this it's not you not having your own opinion. It's just like you building your opinion based off of like, you know, things that you trust and like things like if I trust myself, right? To be able to be like, all right, I got this opinion on this thing, or I feel this way about this thing, and I say I love person X next to me, and I trust them and love them. It's like I should be able to defer to their taste sometimes, not all the time. I think it's like being an individual is super important, but I think we run away from the fact that like we be running away from the fact like we value other people's taste and opinion to then inform things that we don't know shit about. It's okay to not know things and be like, I trust that you are more of an expert at this than me. What do you think? And then it gives me a feeling to be like, all right, I accept this now. Does that make sense?
totally. Because I think in our mind we are all masters of something, some form of knowledge. Like we
Mm-hmm.
can explain something to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of stuff we can't. So we have to assume that everyone has that one thing that they do spend their life on. And if you want to learn about that, you should be willing to listen.
For sure.
I would say it's not just, I was thinking when you were talking about that stuff like relationships, like when you get in a fight with your girl and you don't even want to talk to your friends about it. And you're just like, you just stew on that shit. And then finally you open up about it. And then in explaining it, you realize that they're right. Or the person is like, well, did you think about it like this? And then that shit's like, damn, my mind wasn't right on that. Like I should trust others' opinions.
Yeah, but I don't know. If I was like, I'm done losing arguments with my girl. Like, I'm done losing arguments with women about. I'm just shutting up. Y'all right. Y'all got
I don't know. I feel like
it.
I had a real ego death on DMT to the point where it might have not been good. Because I just think I'll just be like, I'm wrong in every situation. How can I see where I'm
Nah, you going out sad. Like you
No,
can't
I'm
be wrong
not even
at all
saying
the
it in a sad way, but I mean in a moving forward way. What do they say? Like depression is living in the past, anxiety is like living in the future. It's like I don't want to live in the past. Like if I can see where I messed up in a situation, even if I'm not the one at fault, I'll do that to move forward, you know?
Yeah, it gets dangerous though, because people take advantage of that shit. So, and I agree with you actually. I'm like, you don't have to live in the past. If you can, to people in general, I think everybody needs to let go of things more to let other things in. But uh at the same time, you know, like if you always are taking that road of like, all right, I'm wrong, people gonna get used to like putting that on you. And you gotta stand, you just gotta stand, you gotta draw a line. Like it's like, yeah, I'm wrong, but I do have this opinion about how we can move forward, I guess.
Mm, I like that. You do and I understand that it's such a fucked up thing, but my this is something my dad told me growing up. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like you can give someone everything but your balls.
Yeah, you can't get over.
You can't give your ball, and I do agree with that. You can't go like when you said go out sad, I was thinking, damn, am I? And it's like, nah, because at the end of the day, you can't go out sad.
You can't get it. Yeah, you can't go outside. You can't go out on your knees.
I feel like you saying mushrooms at 14 is wild to me.
See, that's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers thought the same thing. So I'm like,
You didn't
that
think that was wild. That was normal.
nah, I felt like I just fell into the shit. I felt like I was just always been open to like, all right, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's like, if it's not gonna kill me, then I'm not even gonna say that it makes me stronger type vibe, but it's just like it's an experience that I could take from and be ahead of somebody else on. Because now everybody does mushrooms, or everybody does, like wants to be I don't know, like people get so riled up being creative, or people get so that are like just things that I knew I wanted to experience first because I looked up to people who was already doing it that was adults. So I'm like, I know that I identify with this already. Um, so what's
What was that
stopping me from
first
doing
trip
it?
like at 14?
You said what?
What was that first trip like?
Niggas was tweaking when we was shorties because we was taking like full blown apes, like no, everybody microdose now and shit. So we take
Yeah.
full apes or whatever. So it was like real trips where I'm like literally like I think one time me and Joey was in Wicker Park. It's a park in Chicago, and we was tripping on I think either mushrooms or even acid or some shit. And there was like a guy in the bush. I went to pee. It was a guy in the bushes. Like I'll never forget. It was like a homeless nigga in the bushes. And I'm like, bro, it's a nigga in the bushes. Like for real, like actually. And everybody's tripping so hard that they think I'm tripping, which I am. But it's like at the same time, I'm like, yo, it's like literally a human being in the bushes on some cartoon shit. So like we walk, I'm like, no, like check it out, check it out. And they pull up to the bushes, and sure enough, the guy's like, la, 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 like there's some weird ass shit. And I'm like, I'm like, it was some trippy shit because it was like, yes, I'm tweaking, but at the same time, y'all tweaking for not believing me, but y'all also tweaking. So now it's just like a big ball of tweak. But yeah, like motherfuckers just used to be, just experiment with life, like all sorts of shit, different phases and different influences and different people who was around us that was kind of informing our decisions.
The universe throws you shit when you're tripping that makes you question, am I tripping or is this real life?
I put it to you like this. I was tripping and I was feeling good. Like, shrooms, like there's that part that make you feel really good. Like when you first start tripping off them. It was this homeless thing. Mind you, I'm 14. Like I think I have $25 in my pocket to my name actually, right? And there was this homeless dude who walked up and he was like, man, I need some money. I need some money. Young buck, I need some money. I'm like, for sure, I got you, man. Like everything gonna be okay. I'm gonna give you five. I'm gonna give you $5. I wasn't 14. We was 17. I'm tripping. And I'm like, I'm finna give you $5 out of the $25 I have. That's a fifth of everything that I have, like literally. And he's like, he took the bread and he was like, what am I gonna do with this? And I remember getting so mad. Like, I'm like, I should knock this nigga out. But then I'm like, the universe also has a way of being like, yo, like, this is a little lesson for you to like not take things personally. Like you wanted to do something good, so do it. Don't worry about the other side of it. Just worry about like what you want to do. So to your point, yeah, the universe definitely throws crazy shit at you while you tripping, but it does also just find a way to like give you little quirky lessons that stick with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially ones that are seemingly so simple, but it's like listening to a song versus understanding it. Like when you get certain lessons while you're hallucinating or whatever on it just hits you differently. It just
No,
hits you
for
you're like, oh wait, I get it now. Like I get what that bumper sticker phrase was, you know?
no, for real. Like you'll just remember some shit that apply at whatever moment.
What type of kid were you pre doing mushrooms?
Probably a kid that probably looked like he did mushrooms.
Hmm.
Um, uh, and I don't know. I don't like super do mushrooms or whatever, but like I don't know. I think I was pretty free in
You
the
were always
fact that
free minded. It wasn't something that like unlocked you.
my mom would always say that I had a strong will. So I like now I can see what she meant by that because it wasn't that I was um like aggressive or anything. It's just like the thing that I wanted to do or the thing that I wanted, I would fixate on and like really go for it or really like demand it or like try to get it one way or another. So I think like everything in my life has kind of fit that box of like, do you want to do this? Then do it. You know what I mean? Like it's not there's no time or there's no setting or space or whatever that is stopping me from doing the things that I want or to be around whoever I want to be around. Like I don't, I try to create my own gravity so that things come to me more so than chasing things and that type of nature. But I think like I was like that when I was a kid too.
I something that I was told again, funny, I don't even give parables of my dad a lot on this podcast, but another thing he taught me
Yeah.
was like when like the universe moves forward all the time and it doesn't want you to move outwards. But if you do carve your own little way, it needs to create that way to move forward too. So it will work out. But you do have to want it and you have to go after it.
No, for sure.
Um, were you I want to finish the hallucinogen talk just because I am interested in that stuff. Were you an acid or a mushroom guy?
Mushrooms. I cannot even fuck with acid.
Yeah, I don't fuck with acid either. Like the only time I took acid, a kid tried to rob me right as I was peaking.
So you probably never want to fuck with acid again.
Never again. No. And then my friends were like, "You know what we'll do? We'll watch Hateful Eight, that movie that takes place in
Samuel L. Jackson gets his dick sucked by another. Yeah, that shit
in
crazy.
the cabin
Uh,
in the fucking in the snow. I'm tripping. I just almost got robbed. It was the whole
yeah,
worst.
yeah, they your friends hate you.
I went down bad that day. I was a
They,
dad
they
went
was they
down
was they was yeah, you was definitely down bad, but
bad. You ever do DMT?
definitely. Well, no, I don't know why I said definitely. I did it. I think I done DMT twice.
It's
You know,
definitely drug though. If you've done it, you've done it. I
no, yeah,
understand like
I've definitely done DMT. I'm just saying,
yeah.
definitely. I said that like I hella do DMT, but I've done
No, but
DMT.
it's so strong that you don't need a lot of.
You don't need to do that shit that many times in your life, but it's also just funny because like people always have these like these stories. Like I took DMT and I became a giant, and I saw, you know, my my wiener was me in a past, like all of that shit. Like I took that shit. It was definitely like on some like fall back shit. Um, saw hella patterns and geometric shapes. Definitely felt like it was a hella like time passing, but it wasn't that long of a time that we was actually off that shit. But it was a cool experience. Like it was definitely a cool experience. I definitely want to do it as an adult though, because I did that shit when I was, like, you know, like as a teenager.
Oh yeah, that's wild. See, your mind was expanded early, so you didn't even get a chance to like be put in the box of like what you're like the normal mind, you know?
Nah, I was trying to open this shit up. I was trying to open this shit up as soon as we could.
Yeah.
As soon as my mama let me out the crib without not even without curfew, but just, what could she do type shit. It's like I was trying to try it and do it all.
Are you an anxious person? Do you deal with anxiety?
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, like in different settings. I think nowadays I've become better at it. you know, because like you you do so much to curb your anxiety. Maybe you drink, maybe you do, you know, people do fucking drugs and all sorts of shit. But I think it's just like putting people around you that you're comfortable with, and then also just accepting that shit, you know? Like being like knowing your little boundaries and shit like that. Like knowing that you don't necessarily have to be in spaces that don't make you comfortable. Like I think that's the thing when you the more and more you grow up, you realize like just cause this shit is for a lot of other people don't necessarily make it for you. That's helping my anxiety a lot. I'll be gone.
Someone, my friend was saying, was my friend A Rashid was saying, that like attention is really the only thing we have as people. You know, like attention is the universal currency type shit.
It
And I
is.
think that is the like you do the older I get, and I'm still my ego gets in the way and I want to just like be in rooms to say I was in those rooms, you know, but it's like I want to give my attention to things that feed me, you know, not things that make me anxious or shit to just be like, oh, that was cool. I did that. Like, I want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled with life.
Yeah, I mean, like if some shit going on too, you know, it's like it's tough to be like not want to be part of some shit, but then it's like when you actively part of the shit, how is it making you feel? Like,
Hmm.
do you really want to be there? You just gotta be honest with yourself.
How old are you, if you
I
mind me?
just I just turned 30.
You just turned 30.
Hmm.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
When was your birthday? Like this week or some
No,
shit?
I'm saying like this year I just turned 30.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you
Was
know.
that how did that hit you? How did you feel about that?
I don't feel nothing about it no more because I feel like you spend your whole and you like you can't even imagine being 30. And then it's like you 30 and it's like, damn, I don't feel no different. Living the same, not the same type of life, but like just I have the same type of like mindset about being open to shit and like really embracing shit. Even in like what you was asking me earlier about like um re re-engaging and like on some, you know, whatever, I'm like, cool. Like, you know, it's like this a whole new chapter of life. We've been doing this shit for forever and it's been doing what it's been doing. So it's like, why not put some more energy into it and go to the next level and just embrace all this shit, embrace all this life, you know? Like so many people didn't even find themselves until they was close to 30s. If you thinking about like even people who do what we do is like Jay and put out first project till he was like 27. Ye in his 30s was the most popping. Like, so it's like there is no rules to this shit. It's just like I'm a person floating in space just like you. And I'm gonna try to figure out how to give you more of me as long as I'm alive.
That's why I love the Griselda shit and why I like
Yeah, look at them niggas. Like they
that
just
Conway's 40, you know?
shit, more power. Like he can rap his ass off. So it's like, why not? Why would you stop yourself because of how old you are? You know? And it's like, nigga, in the scheme of things, 40 is literally the middle of your life.
Yeah.
Like whatever this tip, like, you know, the standard of life, I guess like 80, 75, 80, whatever. But 40 is the middle of that. So why would you just not do what you want to do at the middle of your life?
But
You
I
know?
do see a lot of people just wasting time to waste time. Like
For sure.
wasting time to like hide from themselves. So like, all right, like I'm 25 years old. So
Hmm.
I see a lot of people my age just like wasting time.
I mean, that's part of it though. That's part of it. And not saying that that's the right thing to do, but it's part of it. It's like sometimes you said something earlier. Um, what you say? Can't remember. But I think the sentiment is like, it's like you doing things to kind of just find other things out type shit. So it's like you might have to wait some time to like figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's better if you just know what you want to do.
I think that's what scares me is this gives me success. Like if you had told me 21 that I'd be doing being able to live off of what I want to do and talk like if you had told me that I'd be talking to you 5 years ago, I'd be like, you're fucking kid. Because you're one of my top like I've listened to your music so much for so long, you know? So like that shit's crazy to me and I don't want to fuck it up. That's why I ask is because
No,
like
no,
I
fuck
want
it up.
advice, you know, like I want that's what this podcast is I just want to learn how to live proper.
You're already doing it. Like if you already attracting the people that you want on your podcast, all of that shit, and you're doing a good job, like just keep doing it and then figure out the things that you don't like about it and change them. That's the advice. It's like don't be the real advice is don't be scared. Don't there's no like if you can't get nothing with fear. Fear is like the one thing that keeps us like there's only one type of fear that keeps us alive, and that's like our instinct, you know? But everything else is like stops us from doing things. So fear, you got to cut that as much as you can. Cut that. That's like fat. Like you got to cut it out. So that is the main thing to doing the things that you want to do. Just don't be afraid to do them. And I know that sounds super service, but like in the practice of it, bro, it's like you just don't be afraid, and you're gonna do something.
How do you cut out your fear?
So many different ways, man. You got to accept it. You got to accept your fear. Like you got to be like, okay, I know I'm afraid of this thing. So when I'm doing this, it's going to be a little bit extra pressure, but that's the point. Because at some point after you do it, it's like working out or some shit. It's like after you can't lift a certain amount and then you lift right under that amount and you lift that enough, then you can lift that amount and then you can lift more than that amount. So fear is a gradual progression of like, okay, I was afraid of this thing. Then I created a situation where I could do something that was almost like practice of this thing. And then I did the thing. And then now I can't even believe I was afraid to do the thing. That's that's how I be trying to look at shit.
What do you want next in life? Like what are you going after? What's your goals?
You know what? Right now, my short goal is to put out an album that, that is like worthy of like the music that I put out that got me to this point. That's a short goal. I mean, my like long goal is to just be able to produce like experience, because that's what an album is. It's an experience. But like just produce experiences, man. Like whether it's like activation or experiential things that people could come to, whether it's brands and clothing, furniture, all of that type of style jewelry. Um, but just to be a producer of things that people can come and enjoy. Like that's my biggest thing as a producer of product. Like, and product doesn't mean something that you necessarily have to buy, but just something that you could come and experience or intake and add to your life.
Do you have a moment like that that gave you that idea?
I just
Like an
did a show.
experience?
I mean, recently, like not even in the last 4 days, I just did a show at the Wonder Museum in Chicago. And it was like this heavy conceptual thing. And I was just like, people came and really enjoyed themselves. And I was just like, yo, I want to just do this. And I know I'm like using myself right now, but I want to do this for other people. I want to be able to create just things that people can come and take home culturally. But like I always look at like people um I look at like I guess the highest example is like somebody like Virgil or like somebody no, yeah, somebody like Virgil, of course. But even somebody like Pharrell has always been a good person to create like these just moments where you felt like you were, you know, it was just like, yo, how do you do that? Or that you could feel his taste through the things that he's doing. Somebody like Tyler, the Creator, he's just so good at like creating these moments in time, these capsules in time. That's like, damn, like, he just he got the resource and then he put the resource to doing some shit that people can leave with. But somebody like Kanye, like, they just are. Then all of those people are producers, like not just like it's funny because they start off as like musical producers, but like they just took that idea and started producing shit, whatever they wanted, and just took that same concept and applied it.
What was the show? Was it a concert? Was it a
It was like an exhibit. It was called Bubble Boy. Like, I had written this album and this book like prior to the pandemic, what I was gonna drop on payday. And it just was like the idea of being stuck and being inside of a bubble and a bubble of your own creation and kind of like trying to break free from that and understanding like having that self-aware moment. Like I created this not prison, but like kind of self-containing situation, you know, but I just made it visual, literally built a bubble and all sorts of shit. So
you're being all humble about it, but that sounds crazy. I am very interested in where the idea come from, how you executed it. That's crazy.
yeah, no, I mean, you saying where did the idea come from?
Yeah, like what made you want to put this on as an exhibit?
Because like I didn't get to put it out as an album, so I just had the idea, and the idea and the concept was strong. Like it was really something I was passionate about. Like I was going through this writer's block and just like trying to figure out what my next anything was, and that was the idea after going through all of that shit, and so it was like Bubble Boy. And it was just this, this whole universe of like this character that just was like trying to kind of break free from that. Like trying to just, you reach certain goals and you become comfortable and you might, just be able to create whatever space and um just whatever you want. You might want like be able to like have the resource to buy this or buy that. And then it's like not only does it get old, but if you don't continue, then you can't keep it up. So it's like you look up, you've created this bubble, and then the bubble starts to block your vision from the next things that you need to do. So I just like that concept and that sentiment, I think can apply to a lot of people going through life or whatever. And I just wanted to kind of, share that.
Do you think that you are still in your bubble, or do you feel like you've been able to break free of that?
No, right now I'm free for sure.
Pre-show, or did the show help you break that?
No, pre-show. I've been free for a while.
Do you feel fulfilled with where you're at right now?
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like I'm hungry. So it's like fulfilled for the day as long as I get what I need to get done, but I'm still trying to reach certain goals.
When do you think your album, do you have it? Do you have a plan for it?
You know what? That's a great question. I'm waiting on an album.
First music question I asked the entire time.
I this whole time. Yeah, no, like I'm waiting on this nigga to send my album cover right now, like literally tonight. And then I just want to put it out because I'm like tired of waiting for a distro deal. I'm tired of just waiting on people. I'm tired of waiting on all this shit. I want to put it out. And even if I gotta promote it and push it for a year, I want to do that. I just want to put this thing out because I love it. And I think that people are gonna love it. I think it's like music that's, I don't think that anybody else is making. Um, so
So it's complete.
it's finished.
Do you have the name of it, or can you say the name of it?
It's okay. It's okay, lover.
Any features on it?
A couple. A couple, actually. Yeah.
I hate asking the music questions, but I do want to know.
So
I'm as a
basic,
fan,
but
I'm
yeah,
excited, but I hate, like, I don't, I just want to have the conversation.
yeah, no, the music questions yeah, we gotta get out the way. But yeah, no, it's okay, lover is the name of the album. Um, so there's a couple of features on it, hidden features that just like the way I like to do features is like when people almost sound like they're part of the like you can't even tell there's features to like, but they're there.
Mhm. Is that all you're working on musically right now? Is just finishing that up?
That shit is finished, so I'm not even working on that anymore. But no, I'm making music and shit, but I think like what I'm learning because I've been putting out music now and all this shit, all the things I put out aren't even on the album. So it's just like I'm like getting back in the mode of like doing
Oh,
this shit.
none of those are singles that you've been dropping.
They're just out. They're just music, man. Cause it's like I just want to put music out. I'm a musician. So it's like at the end of the day, I don't care if it's an album, if it's single, it don't matter to me. It's like y'all can put it together however the fuck y'all need to. I know I gotta put a body of work together because I care about that too. But I think it's the way that I started, like if we talking about restarting, is like I just was putting out music, songs. Like it wasn't no plan or none of that shit. I think it's kind of weak how everything is too planned out. It's like that should take the soul out of this shit. Not saying that you don't have a plan, but sometimes you just gotta go with your gut and just be like, bam, let's put it out. Let's put it out. It might not go, you know, I know I'm not like a Billboard charting artist right now, but that's the point. Is to get there. It's like let's keep piquing people's interest. Let's put out good music. Let's push.
And I think that's needed. I think it's cool to hear that you're working. It's cool to hear that you got like you still work with people and you're still pushing and it's happening. And it's like that's what everyone wants, like as fans, we do want artists to create, but also as you said, like you have to realize that people are people too.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have a release date when you think you might just release it whenever?
Nah, I'm gonna put it out. I want to put it out. I wanted to put it out this month. I still might. Um, yeah, it still might come out this month, July.
Okay.
But worst case, August for sure.
It's going to be a summer album though.
Yes.
What are you going to do after that? Are you working on a project after that?
We'll go to Disneyland.
You're
Oh,
a
yes, 'cause I really want to go to Disney. No, I'm just
Have you ever been to Disney?
yeah, I think so. When I was a shorty, like low key, I visited like my family in London and they took us to the Disneyland in where is it? In Paris? When I was
Yeah, uh-huh. They got like a small ass one.
yeah, like some literally not Disney World, Disneyland. But it was cool. Like
I want to go to Universal where they have they got the Hogwarts, they got Super Mario World. That shit would be
Mario World probably lit.
I don't even give a fuck about Harry Potter, but that shit looks cool. I want to go to
Harry
Mario.
Potter probably lit too, G. When Guardian Leviosa, like what?
Bro, I've
Motherfuckers
been
be that
playing that
big.
Hogwarts video game on my PS5. That shit's
Oh,
fun
not
as
just
hell.
yeah, no, somebody put me on that shit. I haven't played it. I got it, but I never
Oh, you
like
have it? It's worth
yeah.
it. I
It's
don't
what?
even play video games that much, but it's mad fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, say less. I'm gonna get to it.
But that Super Mario World shit looks crazy.
Yeah, Super Mario is that was like the original franchise on some video game shit.
I like to be like kids can't have fun nowadays with screens, but it's like, damn, I wish I was a kid now.
Kids
Like,
be having too much fun nowadays. You probably have it 10 times more fun.
Yeah.
But
Imagine like if I was a kid going to Mario, I'd be like, this shit's real. This
Like,
shit's like this shit's real as fuck. I be taking pictures with Luigi, all them.
mm.
You like roller coasters?
Yeah, I do. I love them.
I like roller coasters too.
I
I want to
want to
take
go.
mushrooms and go to Six Flags, but I don't think tripping in roller coasters.
That's a lot. Yeah, tripping roller coasters is a lot. But I have never done it, so I don't know. Maybe it's not a lot. Maybe it's just some shit I'm afraid of to do. So maybe I'll do that.
Skydive?
No, I haven't. A lot of my homies went. A lot of the guys went. Like I know Vic and Joey and yeah, they all that went skydiving. So
It
probably
is
do it.
cool that you guys all fuck with each other still, because I do feel like it
I don't
goes
fuck
one or
with
two
them.
ways.
I don't fuck with them niggas at all.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, then shit happens.
Shit happens, man. Fuck them guys.
Well, I'm happy that you're on your own shit about that, because it
Yeah.
does feel like you have a good mentality, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely on my own. Fuck. What was that shit called? SaveMoney? Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit.
Nah, that's crap. Nah. Yeah, no, we all still here, man. It's lifelong.
Yeah. I appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely.
I can't believe we did an hour and your phone lasted on that 10%.
I ain't gonna lie, this shit hooked to the charger now.
Oh, all right. We're good.
I low key gotta go to. I gotta go to a chocolate dinner.
Oh, a chocolate dinner. That shit
I
sounds crazy.
don't know what. They got some Willy Wonka shit going on.
Damn, and you're talking to me? You got to go do that. Thank you for
Yeah,
your
no,
time, for real.
no, absolutely.
I hope you enjoy your chocolate dinner.
I'm gonna try to.
Have a good one, man. Thank you very much.
You too, gang.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey,